Severe weather causing power problems across Metro Detroit as 750,000 customers are in the dark tonight.
Down lines causing fires. We've got traffic lights out in a lot of areas, and the DTE outage map looks like a work of art, unless you're on it. Good to have you with us tonight for Local 4 News at 11. We've got a lot to get to.
That we do. We just checked in with DTE, and they tell us more than 650,000 customers are still without power tonight. Its peak outage was more than 700,000. Combined with Consumers Energy, there have been close to 1 million outages statewide, thanks to wind gusts of 60 miles per hour.
And because of those outages, we also have more than 4 dozen school closings. Well, Mara McDonald live in Harper Woods tonight, where plenty of people are wondering how long it's going to be in the dark there. Mara?
I tell you, Devin, that's what everybody is asking tonight, and here's the answer. Take a look. It is dark here. It is dark across the street, and yet you go across the bridge there, the power is on. There are multiple pockets of outages all over the place. Blame the howling wind tonight for the slowdown in repairs. DTE tells us they have thousands of wires that are down that need to be tended to, but can't put their linemen up in the buckets until the gusts have eased up.
I would expect that we'll have the vast majority of our customers back in the next couple days, but also a storm of this size is going to impact customers for days after that. So I would expect that we'll have customers, small numbers of customers out through the weekend.
Tonight, I was the bearer of that news for neighbors in Harper Woods who have been out of power since noon.
If your projection is correct, by tomorrow, the next day, we'll make arrangements to relocate.
Or get a portable generator.
I've lived here for 45 years in this house, and this is the first time I've had something like this.
Crews are starting to get a move on now that the wind is finally dying down.
All of our focus right now is securing down power wires and making sure that we keep the public safe.
Back here live to that end, DTE has 600 linemen on the street right now. They are starting to make some improvements, but the real restoration begins in the morning. Kimberly, Devin, back to you.
And Mara, we've got help coming from out of state as well, right?
Yeah, we sure do. They say that they need help, and they're looking to utilities in Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky, but they have their own problems there. It's going to take them a while to get here. Back to you.
Unbelievable. Okay, Mara, we appreciate it. And this fire in Livonia was caused by power lines brought down by the wind. You can see significant flames there on Newburgh Road.
One of many fires in Metro Detroit sparked by power lines down. And in Detroit, firefighters have responded, we're told, to 8 times as many fires as they do on a regular night.
Add to that dozens of downed wires, and that makes for one busy night. Tim Pamplin has a night cam from a scene where homeowners waited hours for help.
Well, the winds may have started to subside, but the workload for the men and women on the Detroit Fire Department certainly hasn't. Another house fire here tonight after a falling tree brings down power lines onto a home. Now out here on Ferguson Street, neighbors are very upset.
Right there, 4 times right there.
That's Daryl Burke. He says this home caught fire about 2 hours ago. He's been calling 911. But they simply didn't show up.
It wasn't until the city police pulled the car over on the corner and the police seen the smoke and called the fire department that we got a fire truck out here.
The fire is out. Good work by the Detroit Fire Department when they finally got here. Mr. Burke and his neighbors are just grateful that no one's injured. That's the scene on Ferguson Street tonight with a night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Okay, Tim, now this is video from Mitchell Street on Detroit's east side. Darcel Burge was inside when this tree fell onto the front of her home.
I was just leaving out of my bedroom and I was coming down the steps and it felt like an earthquake had hit the house. And I had to hold on because all the pictures in the house started shaking.
Well, thankfully no one was hurt, but as you can see, plenty of damage to her house, her yard, and there the front of the street as well.
My goodness. Well, because of the power outages, thousands of traffic lights are out as well. This is a live picture from 10 Mile and Cranbrook Drive in Novi. So remember when you approach one of these intersections to treat it as a 4-way stop. Plenty of them out there. Well, the winds have died down a bit, but it's still gusty out there. On our way back from Flint, Devin was holding on to the steering wheel pretty tight because, you know, the truck was kind of rolling around a little.
Yeah, I mean, on any other day, this would grab your attention, but considering what we've been through, it's an improvement.
It is.
But look at some of these numbers from earlier today. 68 miles per hour at Metro Airport. Keep in mind, hurricane force winds are 74, so it was just shy of that. Just about everybody picked up a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust at some point, but to make matters worse, about 2/3 of these stations were without power for about 3 hours right at the heart of the event. So some of those gusts could have been even higher than were actually reported. These are the current numbers that are out there right now, about 25 to 40-mile-an-hour gusts. Sustained winds are a little bit lower. We're still having some issues with getting some data in here, but sustained winds are about 15 to 25 miles an hour as we speak. Getting into the morning, much calmer, only 5 to 10-mile-an-hour winds. Look at those temperatures, though, starting out in the 20s, and we're talking snow by the end of the day. More on that in your 4-zone forecast coming up, guys.
Okay, Ben, and we have some breaking news just into the Local 4 newsroom. The fire that killed 5 people at a group home on Detroit's east side has just been ruled arson.
Jermont Terry live on the scene. Jermont, they also have someone in custody, right?
They do, Devin. You know, those strong winds may have helped to spread this fire, but the late breaking details tonight is that fire investigators have one man in custody for what you see behind me. They say one man intentionally set this fire, which trapped several people inside, killing 5 of them. Fire investigators, including the ATF, sifting through the ashes, looking late Wednesday night for clues into this deadly apartment fire on Detroit's east side. 5 people were killed.
They was my friends.
Now, Daniel Johnson is trying to wrap his mind around the fact that 5 of his friends did not make it out alive.
That's the hardest part, because I used to talk to them every day, man, every day.
It was just after 1:30 when flames were spotted shooting through a second-floor apartment of the 8-unit building. Investigators say when they arrived, firefighters could not go inside.
They were trying to get in that building, and they were just like, it's like into the mouth of the dragon. It was just horrendously hot.
They were able to rescue 5 people. 1 later died, but the others were taken to St. John Hospital. 2 men remain in serious condition with burns on their bodies and smoke inhalation.
I'm just glad I wasn't there when it happened.
We're told this apartment building was a group home for those getting back on their feet.
I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't have no place to go. I don't have no place. I'm homeless now, like always been.
And while the high winds made fighting the fire difficult, investigators say they're just trying to get to the bottom of what or who started this deadly fire.
I just don't like the idea all my friends passed.
I'm back live here on East Whittier. You can see that this devastation of what was left behind. And the breaking news tonight is that now the investigators telling us that this was, in fact, arson. Someone intentionally set this fire. Now they just have to figure out why. That individual remains in custody tonight. Reporting live on the city's east side, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Okay, Jermont, thank you. Well, the windstorm that came through created a dangerous mess across southeast Michigan.
Take a look at this video of a tree hitting power lines, causing them to arc and then catch fire. This is in the area of Canfield and Maxwell on Detroit's east side. Fire department has blocked off that area. And let's move to Ypsilanti. This is wild video. This is a power pole that spent in the evening swaying from side to side, leaning pretty far in each direction, but it has not fallen.
Oh my goodness.
We just have to assume a lot of people there, though, are very nervously watching and hoping for the best.
So dangerous, too. And tonight, the plane that went off the runway at Willow Run Airport has yet to be moved. The U of M men's basketball team was on board when the pilot had to abort takeoff because of high winds. Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
So that's a lot to follow. And our Local 4 News today and clickondetroit.com will be your home for overnight updates. School closings, we've already mentioned there are a number of those in this evening already. And the latest on the power outages and the repairs coming up bright and early tomorrow morning.